Hi guys, it's Laura. I just cut my hair with my dressmaker shears. Warning to everyone I ever recommended dressmaker shears with. If you're like me, you're gonna end up cutting your hair all the time. It's just what I do. It's so sharp. Today, I want to talk to you about law of attraction. Some of you joined me last week for the tapping, EFT, emotional freedom technique tapping modality. I wanted to start sharing some of the healing modalities and books and techniques that I learned to face life's challenges. So today I wanted to talk to you about law of attraction. I've had an amazing people in my life teaching me things about the law of attraction. Everyone has their own flavor. And today what I want to share with you about is something I learned from Max Ryan, coach. He's here on Instagram. I definitely want to credit him because his class changed my life. And literally, you may believe me, you may not, but after I was a single mom for 15 years with chaotic and unnourishing, unsatisfying relationships. I literally created a beautiful, beautiful boyfriend through this technique. I literally met him like a week after I did this exercise that I'm going to teach you. However, you can use this for your business, for your art, for your relationship with someone, for something you want to create, period. So here's how we're going to start. And I'm going to keep this under 10 minutes somehow so that I can put this on IGTV. If you want to see the tapping video, it's on my YouTube channel, Laura Volpentesta. Okay, so let's get started. Now, I'm someone who doesn't like to focus. If I'm focused negatively about something that's bothering me, I'm kind of stuck there. So when I'm not there, I don't like to use this technique because I don't want to go there. You always want to stay in a good, positive place, focusing on things that bring you joy, attracting more of them. But sometimes you're in that place where you're focused on something that's got you stuck. And I'm going to use the example of drawing. Like for my art students who sometimes feel like they're just obsessed with what they don't like about what they're doing, about how stuck they feel, and it keeps them from tapping back into their love and their joy. But when I learned this exercise, I learned it in a relationship. I had just gotten out of a relationship that really, really heightened my awareness. We call this contrast. When you're having an experience that is very unpleasant, that's contrast. So it sucks. Give me a thumbs up if it sucks. It sucks. But when things suck, it's experience. You sift through, you sort through, and you say, this is not what I want. So it helps you know what you do want. And what we usually do is, okay, stay with me here. This is a good one. We get stuck oftentimes saying what we don't want. I remember after my divorce, I met a guy who I really liked. I remember him saying, oh, you're a single mom, you're mature, you know what you want. And I distinctly remember, and this guy was not good for me, I remember the first thing I said back to him was, oh, no, I know what I don't want. I didn't want to marry another alcoholic. And those were hard. That was hard. Because I was focused on not meeting an alcoholic, I kept meeting people with issues like that. So don't focus on what you don't want, but here's how you can use it. When everything sucks on a topic that's bothering you, get a pen and paper out. This really doesn't work the same if you don't use paper. In your head, things are floating around. When you nail them down on paper, there's power. My teacher, Max Ryan, coach, he taught me. You make a list, first at the top of the page, my ideal blank. And it's important what you say. I think I had written boyfriend, my ideal boyfriend. But the fact is, 2 years later, I realized I hadn't wanted a boyfriend. I really wanted a life partner. And this boyfriend I met, you're going to see the technique. I'm going to teach it to you. He had every quality I had listed. But he didn't have the two I left off, and he was a boyfriend. And my teacher had said, is it boyfriend? Is it husband? Is it partner? Is it, soulmate? Blah, blah, blah. It's important the words you use. So think about it. My ideal blank, whatever it is you want to create that you haven't been able to create and manifest in your world, name it. You can keep joining it as you go. Hi, Nadine. We're doing a law of attraction exercise. So if you're feeling good already, I wouldn't do this exercise, but when you're getting really annoyed by something in your life where you keep attracting exactly what you don't want, get that paper and pencil out. Start with 12, but do like 30, 35 what you don't want. List it. I don't want them to be 1, 2, 3, 4. List it. For example, list everything you don't like about the situation. I'm trying to think of an example when it was a boyfriend, but again, remember, this can be the ideal client. This can be the ideal relationship to your artwork, the ideal experience of drawing, the ideal job situation. Start listing it. So do this exercise when you're really irritated because you're already there. It's easy. So I made a list about this guy. I want a guy who's responsible. Oh wait, no, that's what I want. What I don't want. I don't want him to be closed-minded. I don't want him to be cold. I'm just giving you examples here, okay? I don't want him to be macho. I don't want him to be stingy. I don't want him to be angry. I don't want him to be bitter. I don't want him to be superior. I don't want him to be judgmental. I don't want him to be critical. Make this whole list of all those things you're not enjoying. So I don't know if anyone wants to share one of their topics here. I could try to like riff on it, but that was the experience I had with this was incredible because I truly met an amazing person who really changed my whole life after I did this exercise. I just broke up with him 2.5 years later, but it changed my life. It was a healing journey. So listen, so you write down all the things you don't want. Just, you're already feeling them, so just put them out. But here's the thing. This is on the left side of your paper. And let me know if you can imagine yourself doing this about a certain topic. Like, if you're feeling it, put it all out. Own your feelings. Your feelings. Have you heard this phrase? Emotional GPS. Okay? It's like a compass. It's guiding you to what you want. Knowing what you don't want guides you to what you want. But guess what we often do? We focus on what we don't want. And then we manifest more of it. Try this. I'm not saying I'm right or it has to be this way. Try it on like a shoe and see how it applies to situations in your life experience. Past, present, future. Okay. So here's on the opposite side of the page. You put a line down the center of the page. You've listed 40 things you don't want in your ideal situation. Job situation, work, relationship, partner, even your relationship with your kid or the way your house looks and feels, car, whatever. I don't care. Write it down. If it's important to you, it matters. So on the right, you take every one of those statements and you flip it. For example, you put the list of everything you don't want. Critical, encouraging, closed-minded, open-minded, destructive, creative, addicted, free, unattractive, beautiful to me. And this is relationships. So so many of you are artists. So I'm trying to think of some examples. I feel stiff. I want to feel flowing and open. So on the list of what you don't want, you might have written scared. You want to feel empowered, confident. Thing is, as you start flipping all of your what I don't want over into what you want, you start to come up with all this new language, and you may realize that you're always so busy feeling what you don't want that those are the words living in the front of your mind. And when you start flipping them over into what you do want and listing every one of those sentences, you're turning it around into what you do want. It's incredible. You actually start to plant seeds. And I can only say this because it's worked for me. It has happened for me. You plant seeds for what you do want. And this is only part of the process, but you list them. There's only one important rule that says, don't use the word don't, not, or no. So in your list of what you do want, Don't list like, don't say, doesn't smoke. Or you might want to just say like clean living or doesn't drink, you could put, so don't say, no dogs. Like, because they say it's like a Google. If you Google football, if you Google no footballs, you're going to get footballs. So if you want to create what you want, think of the positive words without using a don't, a not, or a no. Those positive words, so that you're getting a whole list. And what you can feel while you're creating this list is you're literally building this positive experience in your imagination, and you're writing it down. You're affirming it by saying it as you write them all. Watch this again when it goes onto my IGTV or YouTube, because if you follow this exercise and the next part I'm going to tell you, you will have a transformational experience. I mean, it really, really, really happened for me, and I still use this exercise. So after you've listed, 30, 40, what you don't want, and you've transferred them all into the second column into what you do want, give yourself an hour or a night or even a week to tweak up this list. My ideal blank. The list of what you don't want, the list of what you do want. Really sit with it, and you'll find that certain words say it better. Certain emotions really touch you here. Like, I really, really don't want X. And when you flip it into what you do want, you feel this, oh yeah. I don't know about you. I don't think all people have this problem, but I've always been that person who, I guess, I know what I like. I know what I want, but I don't ask for what I want. And when I see what I don't want, sometimes I get stuck there. And then when I'm focused on what I don't want, I keep creating it. So they say in the law of attraction that you're never not creating. So all the negative things, you're actually creating them. You're actually very powerful. You create them by, when you focus on them, you create more of them, which I really don't like to hear a lot of the time. But I think it can be useful to try this on, so you can spend more time with your brain living on the side of what you want, and less time of your brain sitting there focusing on what you don't want and watching it manifest. So as you focus on what you want, there are 2 more things you can do. And I have to credit Max Ryan, and you got to follow him. He's beautiful, amazing teacher, and really doing this in depth. You get more, but here's 2 more things you can do with that list. Sit with that list. Own that list. Because I'm telling you, I met the person on my list, and when I did, and this will be the same for, like, if it's a job or if it's a school, if you're trying to get out of a job you don't like, how are you going to recognize the job you do like if you haven't gotten more specific about it? Always be open to letting the universe bring you more than you asked for, or better, but at least give yourself that knowing of who you are based on contrast, what you didn't like, showing you what it is you really want, and letting yourself own that, because you feeling good is good for everybody. Okay? Now, once you've got that list, you should share it with someone. That's what's great about classes. This kind of having a witness helps. But the next thing is to take some action steps, but not action steps that feel gross. So making a list of like 20 action steps that you could take, and you'll notice some of them feel yucky. Like in the example of dating, "Ooh, I don't want to go on a online dating." Well, then don't do that one. Maybe write it down. Maybe think about why you don't like it. Try to think about how maybe it could be more fun. But make a list and just think of some little actions you could take in that direction. In fact, I think Max, my teacher, had called that pitches to the universe. Make a little list of actions and just kind of brainstorm them. Because as you brainstorm, when you create that space to focus on what you want and how you could get it, you may not know how it comes, actually. It may come in the most surprising way. But if you could think about how it might come, you start to get new pathways happening in your brain. You really do. And you start to become focused on possibility, and you start to become focused on creating new things, new imaginations that you hadn't been there. Now I love this part of his process, which is celebrating the match. It's called something journal. Celebrating the match, or it's almost like a proof journal. So here's the thing. As you go about your day, as you go out in the world, as you're out and about, take notes when you see what you like. So in the case of an artist, if you're seeing an artist who does work the way you wish you could, write down that it's possible. Maybe you found a biography about someone who didn't learn to draw till they were 70, and you're 69 and you're like thinking it's too late. Write that down. You know what? Seek out examples, seek out proof, seek out possibility. For me, when it was a relationship, I would just be like at the coffee shop, and I would see a man and a woman together, and the way he would order her coffee, and the way he would hand it to her, the way he would look at her, and I would be like, that's that thing. That's that thing that I wanted in my life. It is real, you know. So you keep a little like note journal throughout the day. You start to notice when you see examples, even if it's not, it says celebrate the match. So even if it's not the whole match, even if it's a piece of it, a puzzle piece of that puzzle you want to create, write down that piece, even if it's not the whole thing. Okay? And you will notice that as you start to collect these examples, they multiply. There will be more. They will become more visible to you. And you will start to see that this thing that you didn't think was possible becomes more and more possible. I'll confess, sometimes something that I want looks way too possible, and I keep thinking, why not me? Why not me? Why not me? But hang in there, because what you'll start to do is, rather than feeling resentful or jealous or sad or singled out for not having what you want, you're going to start getting more positive feelings that are like, oh yeah, that's out there. And it's mine. I just witnessed it. And sit with the way it makes you feel. And maybe even, if you can, take a minute to like put yourself into that scenario. This is our imagination, our creative imagination. When I got very unhappy at the university that I used to love so much, I just started to create a new life for myself. You know, I still had to support my family. I still had to stay there. I still had to endure a lot of things I didn't like there anymore. Probably I stayed too long, but I built a new life. And I kept a vision, and the vision does get stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger over time. So you are a creator. You are creative. And if you want something, think about it. Why is it calling to you? So celebrate those matches. Write them down. Make a list of possible action steps. Notice which ones don't feel yucky and take them. Maybe one of them is like, you know, taking an online course, or going out to a jazz club, or going to bed early for a week. Maybe you're exhausted. You know, little action steps. Here's a great example. I'm going to close out with this. I once heard with not with diets. I don't mean about dieting. I mean about eating nourishing foods. That too often people try to restrict themselves. What if your focus changed into adding good things instead of focusing on denying yourself bad things? It's the same thing. Oh my God, I can't believe this just came up because I've been thinking about this. So I'm not going to change my diet. I'm not going to change my food choices, except I'm starting to have a green vegetable smoothie every morning. Nothing else is going to change except that I'm adding living foods, living, green, fresh, organic foods and water into my morning. So no denial, just more good. That's powerful. And then the funny thing is, when you take that little action for yourself, your self-esteem goes whoop. Like, or maybe you sign up for a class and you didn't even know that you just took an action for yourself, and your self-esteem goes, whoop. All of a sudden, you're walking down a different path than you were walking down a few minutes ago. And suddenly it's a new world. You take like this little leap of faith and you're caught in magic land. I'm telling you, we get stuck. And the reason we all here is to help each other recognize and to help each other unstick each other along the way. So I hope that's my gift to you today. I hope you caught that. I hope it's helped one person. I'll be over the moon. And if it did, let me know. This is on Insta Live right now. I'm going to probably put it on IGTV and then share it over on YouTube. And let me know if you like my home cut haircut. Thank you, Dressmaker Shears. I made this video because I love you oh so much.